I think it's on. 152, Trey Carney. Fuck, what's today?
Ooh.
Is today August 2nd?
August 3rd, my computer
Jesus
says.
Christ. August 3rd, 4:05 p.m. Eastern Time, number 152? 151? I don't know. This podcast is available on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, D2, BitChute, Vimeo, VO, blah, 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 blah. We're supposed to get hit by a hurricane later today. What?
You're getting hit by a hurricane?
I'm in Maryland. Apparently, the fucking Apple weather app has said for the last 5 days, the 10-day outlook has just been like the cloud and thunderstorm. And I've been excited because storms are fun. And for the last 5 days, it's just been some like bullshit Hawaii weather. It's just been beautiful.
Dude, we just had a hurricane. That's why I thought you said that.
Yeah, and apparently this one, it's like Isaiah or something. I guess it didn't touch. I guess it didn't make groundfall in
Is it really
landfall.
Isaiah?
It's Isaiah. It's something. I don't think it's Isaiah. I think it's like ISAIAIS.
I'm actually slightly interested, right? Because mine was Douglas. So I think they do it alphabetically. So that means in just like whatever many 2 weeks, there was already like an E and a F and a G and an H and an I.
Hurricane Isaias. ISAIAS. ISAIAS.
It's one of those names like Christineth. It's a fake name.
Christineth. Are you stupid?
It's Christineth. Are you stupid or deaf?
Hey, you might think of all the hair that it's messy, but shaved. Alan.
That guy is so funny.
Yeah, the vodka's in this one, honey.
Who wants some Arnie Pommies?
Oh, you want some Arnie Pommies, honey? The vodka's in this one. She does things with you that she never did with me.
Yeah, what it says like you're a lucky guy or something.
Holy shit! What a fucking funny dude.
Come back here and fuck my wife.
Get back here! Fuck my wife! Is it Christina?
He's like, oh my god, it's like 30 miles.
30 miles! Hey, thanks for the F Shack. Thanks for the F Shack, boys. Dirty Mike and the boys. We will fuck in your van again, or your car again.
It will happen.
It will happen. Thanks. Looks like they put a nice lacquer on there. You remember I wrote him a thank you note.
Dude, I love that movie.
That's such a solid fucking movie.
It's weird because it kind of had to grow on me because it was one of the ones that I saw like really just stoned out of my mind in theaters.
Yeah. And
I like didn't remember any of it.
Yeah. That's
it didn't stick. Because the plot, I don't know, it's definitely a different kind of weird vibe to a movie. So it almost took like some getting used to or something.
I've always said that because I didn't see it until like 2013. To me, it just looked like another like kind of dime a dozen like Will Ferrell movie, which I love them all. I love Will Ferrell. To me, not that it was some like Leonardo DiCaprio performance, and not that I'm some fucking film critic, but to me that was like the only time I've ever seen like Will Ferrell like not Will Ferrell. You know what I mean? Right. It's not this. Yeah, it's not this sort of Ron Burgundy, Step Brothers. Fucking, not old school. It's the first time I've ever seen like Will Ferrell act, and he's very good. I like that. I think it'd be really cool to see him do more shit like that. But you're right. It's
like Ron Burgundy, Ricky Bobby, like fucking Frank the Tank. Like so many characters are kind of the same guy. Right?
Blades of Glory, or right? Is that it? Blades of the skating one?
I don't think I saw that one actually.
I mean, that's what I mean. It's like they're kind of just Even Eastbound and Down, Ashley Schaefer. I mean, Ashley Schaefer BMW, who's got the long blonde hair.
Is that the basketball one?
No, Eastbound and Down, that HBO series.
Yeah, the car dealer.
Yeah. Ashley Schaefer BMW. Woo!
Yeah,
Even that, it's still kind of just, that kind of amalgamated character. But, being the police accountant, he is just, a little different.
He's kind of a loser, but he's more,
But I don't know. Apparently, he just fucks.
He's actually in a few serious movies, though. I think he's in one called Stranger Than Fiction.
I don't know.
Where it's like not funny at all.
Oh, really?
But I can't remember if I've seen it. It's basically like he realizes his life is like in a book, like someone is like writing his life.
That rings a bell. I don't think I saw it, but that rings a bell. Okay.
But I don't think it was funny, like even a little bit.
Have you ever seen a movie where like you didn't know it was an actor until the end? For me, Tropic Thunder, Tom Cruise. I'm stupid.
Oh,
maybe
yes.
I might have been high. I don't remember. But
no, he's that good.
The fat suit. It's
he's got
good.
big fake arms, fake hair, fake everything. Yeah,
Les Grossman. Yes.
Yeah, Les Grossman.
Dude, he is up there with all-time characters. Just
that's just such a smart plan to like just have this role with just some psychopath, and then you can just plug like Tom Cruise, like someone who's got that high energy, that crazy like fucking,
and not even the main character. So it's like you're not even like it's not, you don't have an eye on it. Like
fuck you.
I will listen up, Shibber. I will rip your tits off if you don't get that from me. Take a big step back and literally fuck your own face.
He's so aggressive. He's like channeling like Jack Nicholson rage.
It's insane. You're gonna need a fucking binding resolution from the fucking United Nations, so I don't come down there and fucking I will massacre you.
I saw that movie in theater too, and I remember the fake commercials were actually kind of effective. That's the best part of that movie is it starts off with commercials for like fake movies.
Yeah, it's like Chubbies or Fatties or whatever.
Yeah, there's like was like Pussy Sweat.
Yeah. Booty Sweat. Booty Sweat. It's that movie. Like, that movie is kind of meta. How it kind of like just shits on. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's making. Yeah, you're right. All the fat movies that the fat family and it's, you got the underwear doesn't fit. Oh no, all that just really.
But if I'm honest, I think that hurt the movie overall in terms of its reception. I feel like it's going to help it remain like a classic for years to come.
I think it'll marinate.
Obvious it should be.
I think it'll marinate.
It'll marinate now, but just I feel like people don't give that movie love.
Do you think that? I mean, I get the cash grab. I mean, I'd fucking do it in a heartbeat. What do you think about The Hangover? Do you think they should have just kept one?
I think.
The next two suck.
Okay. I'm very opinionated on this.
I'm very passionate about this too. All right, let's do it.
Hangover 1 is like one of the greatest comedies of all time. First time you see it, for sure. Saw it in theaters. Again, I feel like everything we've said.
Right before college started. I saw it at midnight with Alex Wojcinow. Yeah. It's
flawless. Alan is hilarious. Fucking Stu is hilarious. Bradley Cooper's funny. It's just a great, flawless movie.
Perfect.
Here's the thing with 2. Now, 2, I personally will vouch for, but there's one very strong argument for 2, which is if you can tolerate this as a movie or not, just do the exact same movie but bigger, right? So if you have a philosophical problem with that. Now, I'll give you another exact version of this, right? To me, that was Austin Powers 2, right? All the jokes in Austin Powers 2 were still the jokes from Austin Powers 1. Mm-hmm. But I love Austin Powers 1 and 2.
You're right. It is.
So I don't have a problem with like, it's the penis in the sky joke again. Or like, it's the Scotty don't. Like it's literally the same exact jokes. Not even like similar jokes, which there's lots of those too. And so that's what The Hangover 2 was. It was like all the same things. So I liked it because I was like, they at least made it, more extreme where he's fucking the tranny and everything. Mm-hmm. Like they took it to the next level.
Yeah.
So... And then third, Hangover 3 is literally like one of the worst experiences of my life, like having to see it and be like, this is how they finished it?
Yeah.
So
you're right. I remember thinking that when 2 came out. I was like, this sucks. It's the same thing. And then I was like, well, I loved the first one. How is this any different? Yeah, how can I shit on this? It's so contradictory. And ultimately, it comes down to dude, if you're offered $40 million to do it, of course you're gonna do it. Like, what?
But no, philosophically, you can just say I'm against repeating the exact same thing, and then there it is.
Yeah.
But movies do that and get away with it all the time. I feel like it's like, it's just run it back, same exact shit.
Like Super Troopers 2, I haven't seen it. Anchorman 2. Anchorman 2.
I don't want to ruin it, right?
Yeah, Anchorman 2. I saw it with Hutman, and I'm so stupid that I legitimately thought Anchorman 2 was gonna do it. I was like, because I love Anchorman's probably my favorite movie. Like when it's all said and done, it's probably my favorite movie. I've watched that more than any other movie. And I wanted to believe, like UFOs, which we're going to get to. There's a lot of things happening in the news right now. Anchorman 2, I saw that with Hutman in theaters. And God damn it, I was like watching a thing I love just get raped and then had its throat slit and then they dumped the body in a ditch. That's what it was.
And it was a lot of the same jokes as well, right?
Same shit. And they just tried to up it and kept upping it. And it was just like, I don't know.
But Hangover is perfect because, again, if it wasn't for 3, I would have just accepted it at 2. And it's been, it's the same, but I still thought it was funny. But 3 was so bad that now, to answer your question, I probably would just say, if you had left it at 1, that would have been like one of the most untouchable comedies of all time.
of all time. That would be like an Animal House. That would be like a legendary one, like that you have to experience.
It kind of already is.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, they could have really gone, I mean, to the halls of immortality. You know, they could have gone Anchorman 1.
They had to besmirch themselves.
I know.
Hangover 3.
It is the Greek tragedy. It is. I mean, but yeah, dude. I mean, everything about it. I mean, it would be up there with like Anchorman, Animal House. What are some other classic all-time comedies?
I kind of think Austin Powers 1.
Yeah. Something like that. Like, it would be like, our kids would be like, it would be just as funny. But they went and raped it, and...
You know what's funny, though? Back to the Will Ferrell thing. Because, I mean, I thought Anchorman was funny, but I didn't think it was, like, that funny. Like, I almost think it was one of those cult things with the certain Will Ferrell movies, that flavor of them. If it hits you, and maybe like your friend at the right time, you know?
That was before all the Will Ferrell movies, though. You have to remember that. There was no...
It was like the first one. It was
he
like
had been on SNL, but there was no Will Ferrell. There was no Blades of Glory. There's no Ricky Bobby. There's no... that was 2 years before Old School. It was... There was...
Was it really?
Yeah. There was no Will Ferrell thing.
That's
so,
crazy.
like... Yeah, it's... In hindsight, you can look back and be like, well, now it's all been done. But, you know...
Right.
It's almost cliches, like the... You know, like the double take, the American cinema double take thing. Like, the first time that was done, though, that was huge. But now if you look back at the first movie, you're like, oh, look, they're doing the gay-ass fucking double take. And it's like, no, like, you have to know is, like, they had never done that before. You know?
Yeah.
It's
I mean, it was a huge movie for sure.
It's like, imagine seeing someone dunk for the first time in an NBA game. Versus now, it's just like, whatever.
Dunking.
Yeah, dude, I always dunk, dude.
It reminds me of like Napoleon Dynamite or something, where it had a huge cult following.
Yeah.
Anchorman achieved that level where it was like, and maybe Hangover too, right? Maybe that's. And
then they fucking raped them both, dude.
For me, it's Superbad. That's probably my.
Yes, that's just, I saw that in theaters with Joe Udell.
I saw it in theaters, and I had to buy a Rush Hour 3 ticket. Into Superbad because it was rated R, right? And Rush Hour 3 was PG-13. And I hadn't seen Rush Hour 3 until honestly a month ago. I finally watched the Rush Hour trilogy. But it was just so funny that I dodged it for that long for that reason.
You're right. Superbad was one of the... I remember the penis drawing. I remember gasping. I remember choking, to the point where it almost wasn't funny, and I was like, okay, hold on, because Joe Udell was next to me just crying, and I was like, I got to a point where I was like, I was like, this isn't funny anymore because I'm like, I can't breathe. But this one day I was drawing this big triumphant veiny bastard. That was
the drawing montage is one of the funniest fucking things.
He's just the kid. He's just the fucking kid.
How many foods are shaped like dicks? The best kinds.
Yeah.
You hit Becca with your dick?
Funny thing about that, Jules, is my back's actually on my cock. It's or the liquor buying montage. I never had a choice.
You do what you don't. You do.
$80. You're welcome. Here you go, son. I never had a choice. His daydreaming. Yeah, I saw. Well, movie I saw. And I didn't read the book or the graphic novel until 2011 or 12. But I went and saw the actual... So, never having even heard of the story. And probably being top 3 most high of my life. This was senior year of Pius. I went with Joey Diss. And
what are we talking about?
Watchmen. I'm building it up. I went to see Watchmen, but had never even heard of the story. Right. It's already confusing enough.
I bet that was trippy as fuck.
I was just like, what is going on? The huge blue cock, and I was like, who is this god? Why is this so gory? And then I just didn't know what the fuck was happening. That was overwhelming. That was absolutely overwhelming.
That's always an intense feeling. That's what I was saying. I mean, that's why the other guys took time to grow on me. It's not even a complicated movie per se, but I was so blasted. I was like, I can't follow the plot, guys.
Just low Earth orbit. Yeah. You're like, dude, I need a Super Troopers if I'm that high. I literally just need a, I can't do basic, let alone this guy who's trans-dimensional.
I bet it was kind of somehow weirdly enjoyable. I mean, maybe not in the moment, but it was probably so overwhelming.
So psychedelic, just a step outside of reality.
I saw it with Pat IMAX, and we were definitely blasted. But
Yeah.
I definitely read the book. So
Yeah. Well, I had read the book. Another Pat R, who's a doctor now. I don't want
another PR.
Yeah. Other P. Oh yeah, another PR. Most of my friends, I don't give a shit about saying their last name, but like more professional ones, I do.
Yeah,
and
that's what he said. And we just stick to the first names. It's
yeah. Patty Ice. I remember when I lived with him, he gave me a copy, and he was like, "You just need to read it, dude." And I was like, "Fine." And he was like, "Everyone always says the book's better." And he goes, just in his monotone, and of course that's true, and everyone's a fucking idiot because that's applicable to every movie. But this, Tommy, this in his deep voice, I'm telling you, you need to read this.
Yeah,
I think it's one of the best stories I've ever read. I've read it a couple times now.
So enjoyable.
It's so good. I mean, you have almost the like incel. And when I first read it, I was like, he's so cool, Rorschach. And in hindsight, I'm like, yeah, here's this like, that's definitely kind of like an incel guy now. And then you have like Ozymandias, who's just like perfection. And then you have like God, just God, like I've walked across the surface of the sun. I remember that. I remember being so high.
So fucking cool.
He's just so. I remember that. I remember what I remember perfectly in theaters with Joey Diaz, where you're eating Sour Patch Kids, and I remember vividly watching and remembering the Dr. Manhattan montage, where it's just him. He's like, they wanted to name me something after something horrendous, Manhattan, and he does like the hydrogen. And he like crumbles up the tank, and he's with the military officials. He's like, I've walked across the surface of the sun. I remember being like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is okay. All right. Everything else I didn't get. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
It's all you need, bro.
Yeah, it's all you need. Yeah, if you're hanging out with Joey Diaz, you're just low Earth orbit high. like higher than high. Like, yeah. So what do you think about and it's no longer just stupid me talking about UFOs. What do you think about the actual Pentagon addressing it in the last 2 weeks, saying that we don't know what it is, and then retracting it, but then saying through the New York Times, or actually they didn't retract it. They said, we have recovered materials that are not of this world.
That was the trippiest part for me. I kept trying to literally Google that specific phrase.
Me too.
And have someone expand upon it, but it was literally almost just the,
Rogan put it on Instagram, and that's where I saw it.
Yeah, well,
he put a screenshot of that title, and you're right. Yeah, I was doing that. I was Googling that sentence. I looked up the writer's name. I found the author, the co-author of that article.
Find anything, right? Could you find anything?
I found the co-author of that article. Her name's Leslie Kane, and she wrote a book called UFOs, Generals, Presidents, and Military Officials. I listened to her book, found her on Facebook, and she actually messaged me back. She turned down. She said she's not doing appearances right now. Shout out Leslie Kane, though. Amazing book. But yeah, I found the co-author, and I tried to pick her brain, but I listened to her book. Her book is probably the best UFO book there is because it is so unsexy. It is just legitimate, like, Air Force pilots, military former admirals, 3-star generals, 4-star generals, deputy directors of the CIA. And it's just like, this is what we know. Like, we know that they're physical phenomena. So it's not, do you believe they exist? He's like, they do exist. What they are is is it aliens? Who knows? Is it just could it be as natural as an aurora borealis, but maybe it's just like another universe blending into ours? Who knows? He's like, but what they are is they exist. He's like, they have returns on radar, and they distort compasses. He's like, so these are physical phenomena. What they are, no one can answer that. But I mean, they are real.
To me, it's weird because it's still like that statement, right? They're real, but it's like they're intentionally downplaying it, or they're just saying it in a certain way. They're not making it as obvious as this, which is there's really only one of two things that you think, and you should like let us know as our leaders, like if you believe this to be aliens. Like either it's like just some genius weird human thing, like some covert intelligence from Russia or something. You think that's what it is, or do you actually think it's an alien? Like, and why? I mean, I guess again they don't want to have like a fear. But it's weird. That's why that one line I kept sticking to, not of this
not
earth.
Of this, yes, not of this
saying,
earth.
Okay, it's alien. But even then, you're like, well, just it fell from the sky. I mean, it could be like, you're like, what else could it be? What are you talking about?
It is, and you're right. It almost, it kind of brings in like it shits people. The one argument that goes against it the most, speed of light, to me, that shits on just like the idea of like empirical research and peer-reviewed research in general, the idea, and I'm not making an argument for speed of light being the cosmic speed limit or not. I'm not even going there. But the idea that they can't get here, therefore this can't be what that is. That right there is just the fallacy, the flaw of you have your model and now you're trying to bend the world into it. No, you look at the world and create your model. Once you create your model and then you start defending it, you're no longer in science. You are now becoming your ego. It's the world is flat. We're gonna fucking burn you at the stake. It's once you make that flaw. It's, and I'm not saying it's speed. Maybe light is the true cosmic speed limit, but maybe there's wormholes. Who knows? Maybe there's something. There's some weird quantum fucking Rovelli could talk on it. Like it's. But the idea that it can't exist outside of this, and it's like that's just the basic flaw of, you know, well, germs can't spread by the doctors because there's no, we can't see it. All right, well, it's like, well, no, they had no idea. Butchering art, a history of Victorian medicine. It's about Joseph Lister. Dude, you listen to his like early, like in med school, he's like, oh yeah, you know, literally a lady with like a boil and they couldn't empty it a pus, so one of the students literally put his mouth on it, sucked it out, and spit it out, and was like, there you go. And then he got sick and died. But they were like, why did he die? They're like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But it's like, once they stepped outside of it, and then we started getting antiseptics, and then all of a sudden life expectancy doubled in the course of like a century. Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
no, I know what you're saying.
So what is it, Trey? What is?
So I mean, I don't know why it was like they moved the flag, but we're not actually any closer. Like what you're saying is true, and like if someone was a skeptic now, you wouldn't really have any more to say to them, even though now seemingly official government agencies have admitted that there's aliens. Is one way of reading it, right?
Yeah.
Or it's just still what we've all known we've had for a long time, which is like these UFO sightings, and it's like. There's no, I don't know. It's just so weird that there's either not another guess as to like what it could be, but it seems like that's the way they treat it. It seems like they don't like treat it like it's alien on the books. And I don't know if it's because that's the whole Watchmen thing. Like you don't want to flood the public with fear. Is that really what our government is doing? Or is it like something else? It's so strange.
Yeah. Is it some Ozymandias? Is it something like that?
You think that would happen? What do you think? If like they knew there was aliens, would they intentionally be worried about public response? Do you think that could be involved?
So I think initially, yeah. Because think Roswell 47. I mean, that's what? So that's my grandma. That's a decade and a half before my mom's born. So like my grandma's like, yeah, I could see them being like, okay, we can't destabilize like the nuclear family, like go to church on Sundays, like, you know. And not even for like you got to keep the people down. It's probably like we just got out of World War II. Everything's kind of chill. Right, that literally just ended with dropping 2 atomic bombs on a sovereign nation. Everything's kind of chill right now. It's just everyone go. Here's the GI Bill. I don't think it's a nefarious. The people can't know. I think it's probably just like let's just fucking not fuck this up right now. Like, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
Like, kind of like the let's have this talk in the morning kind of thing. Like, just let's now, though. Yeah, now I think it's different. And I think the one argument that makes the most sense to me is, and it's not radical at all, it's what it is think of how secret the Manhattan Project was. Or think about how secret, like, the creation of stealth technology with the F-117 Nighthawk. Think about how so ICBMs, rocket technology, we literally brought Nazis to America to help us. So when you look at how at the tippy top on like the altar of what the elite, and I don't mean that in some Illuminati sense, I mean just literally back to pyramids. What are the elite? Oh, it's who has the best technology and can impose their will on everyone. We got the A-bomb, so we won. You know, we had covert missions to make sure the Germans didn't get past heavy water. And as soon as we got it, what did we do? The morning of July 16th, 1945, a couple hours after we tested the A-bomb and it worked, pieces went on the USS Philadelphia and started being shipped to Tinian Island. They're like, it works, get it going. So I'll say all that to say this. What if it is alien, and it's a technology that is clearly so advanced that the government they are treating it almost like a Manhattan Project, because it doesn't matter if this is human created or alien. The reality is here's a technology that is a cut above, and who's going to get it?
Right.
It's
okay, but then here's the question.
Okay.
All the things you mentioned, right? Manhattan Project, whatever it is, some secret military mission. We now know about it years later, thanks to the spread of information with the internet, right? So here's the real idea: is there like a built-in buffer? Like, could they have technology so crazy, like Star Wars shit, and they were just like behind the times in terms of like how it like leaks out, or is it closer to, like I'm saying, this spread of information? The reason why this guy is able to say this thing about found from other Earths or whatever it is, right, is that there's sort of no hiding it now, and they're being forced to kind of like catch up to reality with, you can't have a Manhattan Project and have hush hush the whole planet, that type of thing.
I think,
or do you think it's kind of controlled? Like, again, the way I was Googling it, it felt kind of like there was clearly a team that sat around and worked on that sentence,
yes.
right? That guy didn't just spitball, recovered something. It was like,
that was focus
group. That was fucking PR.
That was, they had the paper, they had the whiteboards, everyone signed off on it. There was some there were some office emails. It was, I think up until probably this past year, I would agree with what you first said, that it is just so. I want to believe that they're just fucking light years ahead. And I mean, dude, the former head of
only like get out. Like, here's the iPhone. And
but they had to create an ARPANET, an internet in the 1950s to communicate between nuclear bunkers after a full thermonuclear exchange. But now I think it's the latter. I think it is an admission that there's only so you can keep secrets. It can't be a Manhattan Project with 500,000 people. Mm-hmm. You can probably compartmentalize into like groups of 100 and probably keep them pretty fucking quiet. Mm-hmm. I don't think you can do more than like a thing at a time. And there's probably a whole new like philosophy and game plan to go about maintaining secrecy. But in terms of just in general, like, did you know like the fall of the Soviet Union? I think it's Ray Kurzweil, the technologist and the futurist. He says that it coincides, not coincidentally, with like the rise of like affordable fax machines. And he said it was a free flow of information, and that dissolved the Iron Curtain.
That's interesting.
I don't think that's the only case, but the spread of information. Everyone has an iPhone now. Everyone can record everything. There's no I heard. Yeah. It's if you don't have at least a 360p video with audio, I don't fucking believe you. Because every fucking homeless guy has a flip phone that can record something, right?
Yeah, it's next level now for sure.
Yes, so I think it's I think it's the latter. I think it's, it's gonna come out. So let's take charge of it. It's crisis management.
And then, then to respond, not to push back, but a certain angle on this, it makes me think of.
Let's go.
Because it's fun, it's prompting you, seeing what you'll think. A funny angle is a lot of like academics in science and physics, math, maybe engineering. They'll talk about how actually that we've had a dramatic slowdown in technology. It feels like because of like, what's it called? Like, consumer at the home, like TV, radio to TV to, personal computer, the way it's accelerated kind of like on an individual level in the personal home makes it feel like we're still on the speed up. But actually, it's still going back to scientific advances that were closer to the time you were talking about, namely the 1910s through like 1940, 50 range, with nuclear and with certain quantum mechanical things with electricity and making computers, right? I mean, fucking John von Neumann, basically the guy who architectured modern computing, could come today and still like easily be able to, not easily, but it'd take him a while to figure out. Well, he was also a super fucking crazy genius, but all I mean to say is he wouldn't be confused by the technology. He would be able to be shocked that everyone has a phone because of the spread of it, but that's capitalism, right? That's not the actual inherent physics. If you explain the transistors and the yada yada, he would be like, oh, okay. So that's this weird thing about, and chasing unification theory. So it's almost like the physicists are almost thinking we're kind of stuck in a weird way. So that brings it back to aliens. If it was really fucking true that there was some crazy top secret, like FBI, CIA agency, that would be all the more fucking nuts if they had technology that could like change the world, and it was just actually like Illuminati level. What would it even be? Would it be military? Is that why it would be closed off? Or because like the masters don't want the people to be able to like alchemize gold in their room? Like, I wonder, like, that's the main argument against it, actually. But at the same time, part of me wants to believe that it could be true. But.
No. So I get what you're saying. Is man, it's nice to have someone on here who's like equally fucking as crazy as I am. I love
equally
you, Trey.
Passionate about this.
I love you, Trey. It's so. I think it's. I don't necessarily agree with him, but I think he does have one good point. Dr. Stephen Greer, the UFO guy, he was on Rogan. Actually, if you've listened to all the Rogan, so you know him.
Sadly, I've gone as far back as that guy.
No. I remember listening to him. Yeah, whether or not you agree with him, I think he has one good point, and it's kind of what we said earlier about like the Manhattan Project, like keep it quiet, but it's also what is the power structure? It's the petrodollar. It is, and whether or not it's Illuminati, the people must bow, or whether or not it's just some rich fucks, and power exists for power's purpose. It is a means to a means. There's no, it's just you want to be in charge. That's the human condition. You got the petrodollar, you got the whole world fucking just addicted. We got our, really edgy, but just imagine like, oh, you're addicted to your phone and fossil fuel. What happens if there's something that says this thing created a wormhole, or like Bob Lazar, this thing created gravity waves? Well, if you accept that, you then have to go, well, where'd the power come from? Okay, well, if this is just a saucer and it's not the size of 100 aircraft carriers, they clearly have some hyper-advanced, super small power source. It doesn't matter what that power source is. What that implies is, oh, why don't we use that? And then we no longer have to go to ExxonMobil. And I don't think it's necessarily, maybe it's some crazy fucking Illuminati demons. Maybe it's just a bunch of rich fucks who don't want to let go of being in charge. And I think it could be that. It's, do we want these people? So John von Neumann, didn't he do ENIAC and Maniac? Weren't those his?
I mean, he was literally like the most gangster mathematician physicist at the time.
They used to pay him
all of the bomb, the early computers, IBM. Like he was doing it all.
They used to pay him $100 a day in like 40s or 50s money just to write down his morning thoughts on a napkin. Some company put him on payroll for that. He didn't even have to go to work.
Like he's almost like above Einstein in just at least like the raw. Like you could honestly probably debate like who did more. Like they're probably pretty close, but like obviously Einstein's much more famous. But in terms of just like come in a room and just like blow you away with some crazy like even like history, he knew like all these historical facts and shit. Like just he had like a next level intelligent genius mind.
He used to carry.
Einstein was obviously brilliant, but still kind of like more normal person brilliant. Von Neumann was literally like robot. Brilliant.
Von Neumann used to carry. I'll send it to you. DARPA. The Pentagon's Brain by Annie Jacobson, but there's like a whole chapter on von Neumann, and he used to bring around like an index card or like a crumbled up piece of paper, and it was just like unsolvable problems, and he had like a couple of them, and like over his lifetime,
on it like a cross puzzle.
But over his lifetime, he would get one, and then he would scratch it out, but there was only like a handful, and he never finished it, but there was just he had time. They say you just see him looking at it, and he would just sort of give processing time, maybe an hour here, 5 minutes there, but he would just look at these almost like Japanese KOAN. Point being, what you're saying, that idea that it seems faster, because can't see it, but here's a 4K TV, I got a nice microphone, Xbox One X, and it's like everything's balling out, Siri or Alexa, whatever, got a Google Home for free, is like, so it seems like it's going faster. But in terms of, you're right, splitting the atom, galactic structures. Right. Right. The actual like big quantum, where like the textbooks are changing, right? That's the way to look at it. Whereas the textbooks are changing. That's what I'm saying.
That was happening a lot fast for a while, and it was blowing everything away, right?
So did it slow down?
Sort of like they're doing string theory instead, right? We're in a place where we can't even, if it is physics, we're not even sure.
We're doing side missions. We're not doing the main campaign anymore.
We don't even know what we're doing.
We're not doing the main camp. We can't find the next mission. We can't find the next campaign mission. So we're just doing side missions. That's what we're doing.
You do bring up a good point, though, which is that it's actually a good point for anti-conspiracy theory. It's like, look, I'm not saying that it is or that it has to be this like put the people down, Illuminati. But it could also be when you say Illuminati, like maybe you don't have to think of it like all these guys
cloak and
making
dagger
decisions on purpose. It could just be like a rich fucker, and just like he's a rich fucker and he wants to keep his money, and it's as simple as that. Like you said,
it's just a cunt.
To be deeply motivated beyond like, I don't want my business to lose X amount of, and you're like, well, if you do that, millions of people will die, and he's just like, man, whatever. So there is some shadiness, but it's like not the primary driver. It's just kind of what you would imagine, like when you walk by a homeless person and don't help them, you don't give them change. To this guy, that is for him.
It's just, I mean, it's my money. Fuck off. Fucked off, but maybe not necessarily a bunch of guys in some fucking Epstein's temple, but it's a bunch of guys in fucking you're right, killing babies and sacrificing shit to Moloch. It might not be that, or even that. Illuminati might just be a placeholder for something that might not even be a unified group of people, but whether or not it's a unified group of people or whether or not it's a bunch of independent people, it still acts the same. So whether or not it's like whether or not you have weed in your car and there's a cop behind you that smells it, or whether you have nothing in your car and the cop isn't even paying attention to you, the anxiety is the same. So it doesn't even have to. So Illuminati might just be the name of something that they might not even know each other. But so is it? It could very well just be like the music industry, like shut down LimeWire. It might just be that, and it's.
That's why I wonder, because if it really is some alien shit, the technology would be so crazy that you then have to wonder who this person or these persons are, whether or not, again, they're being nefarious or not. It would still be such a mind blowing level of control and power to be able to have some alien technology and not be revealing it because you want to make more money off oil like that. But
I don't think that's absurd though. I think that's I think that's the most normal explanation.
No,
it's like, okay, I see it. Yeah.
You learn about that, like Stephen Greer or some trippy documentary that I probably don't ultimately agree with, but at least one thing when you take away from it is simple as just go Google your favorite gas stations board of trustees.
So you go
Chevron.com, the Chevron board members. It's like, oh, the CEO of Wells Fargo is on there. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Go Google BP Oil. Oh, the CEO of Bank of America is on there. And it might across the board. You're like, that's just out in the open, bro.
And that doesn't necessarily mean they're all eating babies in some Manhattan penthouse. Right. It might just be a bunch of rich cunts who are just.
Exactly.
Who's to say that we wouldn't do that if we were there? We might be like, hell, man. Hey, we're slaying the game. We're slaying the game. Yeah. Fuck it. You know what? Fuck it. Keep it going. And then.
So I don't want to forgive them, but it's just more understandable.
To me, if that came out, I don't think anyone. I think if that wasn't the case, people would probably be surprised. We're so. Of course, this asshole does that. To me, it'd be that's probably the most. So, but let's say they've been working on it for 50 years, and they've finally come to a point where they're like, we are no closer to it now than we were with black and white TVs. It might just, or what you said, the dissolving of secrecy through technology. Maybe it's like, hey, the tide's rising and we're going to get our feet wet. Let's at least put rubber boots on. It might just be.
That's what I think it was. I think it's
that.
Because of that line. That line was so rubber booty. That's exactly what it was. Just let's just start to dip our toes in. Some rubber boots.
Yeah. And not only that, but it's also going to come out that they've kept it secret for this long that now people might not even care, but it'd be like if you fucked your best friend's girlfriend in high school, and now you guys are both 80. Neither of you give a shit, and if he found out, he'd probably just laugh. He doesn't give a shit. But it's the fact that you kept it secret all these years where you might just be like, damn, man, I thought we were close. That might be it. No one even gives a fuck if they had it right now. And yeah, sure, they'd probably try to capitalize it, but it's like, oh, but you had it for 70 years, man? People are dying. 2 billion people don't have drinking water. Maybe you're just waiting for them to die off. Maybe they're waiting for the Majestic 12 to die off. Or is it 12? They've all got to be dead. Whatever the supposed group was that got the UFO.
Oh, I didn't know that term.
It was Eisenhower or Truman's, they're fucking... There's some piece of paper from one of them that they called it the Majestic. It's fucking UFO lore that I love. But I think it's probably that. Because you're right. Fusion has been... Sustainable nuclear fusion's been just around the corner since we dropped that... We made the first H-bomb in... When was Ivy Mike? 1952?
I mean, but here's the counter narrative.
Textbooks aren't changing.
Specifically that they do this, for example, with electric cars, right? Like, it's not like this is
yeah.
How could they do this? How could they suppress this technology? It's like, we saw them do it with electric cars. We saw them pay cigarette companies to allow people to smoke. Like, rich people will totally
They did it with insulin, like last year.
Yeah. Like, so that's got to be the answer, right?
I think it's it. I think it's an unsexy
But again,
answer.
that also just makes you feel so weird that, like, that just means there's aliens and they just, like, are hiding their, like, warp drives. Like, what is it? It makes more questions than answers, Tommy.
It does kind of feel like, it feels like you've been edging for like 4 hours on like Adderall, and you just nutted, but like it wasn't what you thought it would be. And you're like, oh man,
like a weird part of the movie came on.
Yeah, and you're like, I just been building this up for 4 hours.
Dude, that's exactly what it feels like.
And you're just kind of like, I mean, I guess I came. And you're like,
exactly, because what if they said the exact same thing, but they just said it like a normal person? What if they were just like, we found some ships that seem like alien spaceships, period. Whoa!
Yeah.
No, it's like, we have recovered things not of this earth. It was so calculated.
So politically, focus grouped. It was so...
Definitely.
You gotta watch the shareholders. It was something like that. Just like the gayest, like, just make a badass Super Bowl commercial. Instead, it was like, here's Coca-Cola. And you just have someone of every skin color. And it's like, yeah, we get it. I mean, we get it. But show me something funny. Show me... Trump could have fucking... Maybe that's what he's gonna pull out at the election.
Trump card.
Maybe, Trump's Trump card. Maybe that's what he pulls out at the election. I'll declassify it all. Remember the off-world technology? He's going to have some... Why wouldn't he? The absolute egotistical, whether or not you like him or not, I'm not even going there. Why wouldn't... Doesn't it seem like if anyone were...
He might try. If he could.
Or is it the perfect time to release it? Because all eyes are on him. I don't know. I mean, you have him...
It was a wild release.
I saw that COVID. Same thing
on Rogan. It was just...
You have COVID. You have everyone stuck at home. No one's going out for the first time since 1918.
The thing about COVID does kind of seem a little stinky, right? Like somehow there's either they're trying to take light from COVID or even the reverse. You can't even tell. You can't even wrap your head. Are they trying to hide the aliens? Or are they trying to hide a bioweapon?
What if COVID was part of the UFO release? We have to get people. We have to get people used to just. The new normal is just absurdity. It is now just normal. The first time I wore a mask, I remember being like, this is so weird. Everyone, I work at a liquor store now. Now it's you come in, do you have your ID, sir? But it's also just as normal. Hey, man, do you have your mask? Thank you. Put it up.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just like complete, you just got to be insane. Trump is president. Fucking March Madness is canceled. You got to get like all 2020 Olympics, just kick it to next year. Everything is just so upside down.
But you're supporting that would be a good time for them to say it, right?
So absolutely perfect time.
That was why they chose this moment.
I think it's probably Occam's razor. I don't think all of this was for that. I think they looked at all of this and it's like, hey, we got the booties on. The swell just dropped. Let's jump. You know, right now, jump off the diving board. Let's just do it. Let's just get it fucking over with. Pulling off a Band-Aid. They're just like, fuck it, UFOs are done. We did it. It's like sending a drunk text. You're like, send it off and then turn it off. You're like, fuck, I can't take that back. But you're like, I'm kind of glad I did it. I hate that I did it, but it's over, right? It's kind of like that.
It does feel like that. And that's why if it was just a little stronger, I would feel satisfied. If it was just a little more... If you're going to
send a drunk text, you might as well pour your heart out. You're already making yourself an idiot. Might as well express your love. Like you're
your shot, bro.
Yeah, you're no less of a douchebag. It's just, if anything, you're going to look like a douchebag and a pussy if you don't just straight up say, I fucking love you. You know? You're going to get turned down anyway, so might as well go all out.
It's true.
Maybe it's the drunk text. It's just like, there's never been a better time to just, to quietly, or maybe, and what I hope is that was just part one, is like, maybe there's another breadcrumb coming. There's just another.
I think there will be. I think you'll see in a month or something, you know, another. I mean, we already saw it with the one, if you count the one where they released the footage, right? That was a few months ago, right?
The gimbal one, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they released like 3 videos at one time, and they like verified like these are
footage,
real.
Yeah.
It seems like they're doing it slowly, which is it's just so
Commander
weird.
Fravor going on Rogan, like Bob Lazar. It is.
Maybe that's why. What if like Rogan is causing this? It's honestly not completely ridiculous.
Then he will go down. He will go down as what The Hangover should have been. He will go down as the legend.
This is a legend.
Started with fucking digital snowflakes and red band and ended with UFO disclosure.
Honestly,
all-time heavyweight champ. He wins. Sponsored by the Fleshlight to We've Made Contact. Dude, what better way to disseminate information? Oops. What better way to disseminate? Getting excited. I just smacked my microphone.
Yeah, Joe Rogan, the guy who loves
What better way to disseminate it than Joe Rogan? Bald pothead covered in tattoos.
Yeah. Okay, here's another question. Do you think that there's any reason to believe that the bomb is what brought the aliens, right? That after the nuclear tests is when alien sightings went up?
I wanted to wind it back. When I said bald, I don't say that in a disparaging way. I fucking love Joe Rogan. When I said, I realized I was like, that might come across as like this douchebag. No, I love him. The A-bombs, that's another theory, and I think it's Stephen Greer's that I love. Is the A-bombs.
They came for the A-bombs.
Was it you and I that talked about this, or it might have been me and someone else? But no, we've actually got into this. It was like 50 episodes ago, but like, quick analogy is like, and I literally know this because I remember being at Alex Wojano's house freshman year of high school with JP, Matt Walker, Hutman, Joe.
Hey, man.
Yeah. What?
You're last naming them.
Yeah. Well, they're all close friends. Fuck off. I don't give a shit. I love you all. Whatever. I remember we were all at Alex's house and we weren't even drunk. We were just shooting off Roman candles. You know, it was like in between, like looking up like, you know, gay porn and, you know, stupid shit. And I remember we were shooting off Roman candles and like lighting his neighbor's lawns on fire. Like we put Joe in a trash can and, you know, banged on it. It was just whatever. And
classic kid stuff.
Yeah. It was literally 2005. And I remember we had to close his garage and we hid in it. And literally we laid on top of his mom's Jeep and we're like looking at the windows. And point of me saying all this is, and the cops went by and they kind of like, you know, flashed the flashlight. They probably knew where we were, but it was just sort of like these dumb fucks. And, you know, to us, we're like, oh no, they know where we are. But it's like probably some cop that's just like, hey, remember when we used to do that? Point of me saying all that is, so what are we doing? It's okay if you set off shit on your property, but don't light other people's lawns on fire. It's okay if you just drop the nuke in New Mexico. Okay, you're testing it. You're testing splitting the atom. You are a curious species. Okay, now you drop 2 on 2 cities. Like, and okay, now you're at hydrogen bombs. And now these things, I mean, didn't Castle Bravo have something like 10 million times the neutron density of a supernova? So you're right. Now you have these like Roman candles on a cosmic level, these almost flash bulbs going off. You're right. They're the cops, and they're going, those are just some kids. And now you're going, they're setting other people's lawns on fire. Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Oh, there's a lot of them. So what are they? So think about this. First nuke, July 16th, 1945, Alamogordo, New Mexico, 5:45 in the morning. Where did the supposed flying saucer get recovered? 2 years later, 1947, in Roswell, New Mexico, 119 miles from where the first nuke was tested. 2 years, 119 miles. Out of all the time in human history and of the entire size of the globe, is that not the cop who maybe they don't know which house you're in, but they did get to your cul-de-sac?
They did a drive-by?
They did. They're not sure where, but they got to the cul-de-sac. They narrowed it down.
That's pretty funny, yeah.
Isn't that, and it's obviously it's simplified, but who gives a fuck? But that's what I think of. I'm like, isn't that kind of weird? It's, you know.
It's a little suspicious.
And maybe they knew exactly where it was, but it was just a little bit of a, hey, I remember when I set off my first nuke, but you guys should cut it out. And hey, to their credit, we haven't nuked anyone else. It's been 70 years, but we do still have them. We do have them pointed at each other. And where else do nukes go? What is declassified shit? They have gone near missile silos during the Cold War. They have shut them down. This is declassified shit. They don't say it's an alien, but they did say there's a red orb in the sky, and they played it off as like Soviet sabotage. Does that, to me, so to answer your question, yeah, I think these hyper neutron dense flashes, thousands in like 2 decades, and then they show up. They're the cops. What are you boys doing?
Well, I just think weird, right? Because like a no nonsense person would say maybe like, oh, you know, why would they come for that? Or I don't know what they would say. But the idea being that we as humans, we look out into the universe all the fucking time. We have like $1 billion telescopes and we think we can like determine Earth-like planets from, incredibly far away. So why wouldn't we imagine as technology gets better that sensing capability couldn't be better? Someone could have just been like, what the fuck was that? It's literally just like walking by, like he's just a cop, like, whoa, what was that? Shine their flashlight.
Yeah. Hey, did someone just throw a firecracker? Did you hear that?
Yeah. And why wouldn't they just check it out? They're not threatened by it. They're just like,
it's literally more so just like a reef. Like, what was that? You hear that?
Yeah.
What was that? I thought I heard that too. I'm going crazy, right? Do you smell weed? I smell weed. It's just like, we don't even really give a fuck. It's just like a talking point. And you're right. I mean, think about like the first. I don't want to keep you, by the way. I know I'm ramped up going on higher energy. I don't want to.
No, man. You're doing good.
All right, good. Just.
I got shit to do.
I know you well enough that just tell me whenever you're finished. Be like, yeah, let's fucking wrap it up. I think of like. Yeah, think about like the first satellites, Keystone, Corona. I mean, these things were so specified. They had predetermined destinations to photograph. They could get within like a foot resolution, and then it'd spit them out. They'd come back in through the atmosphere, blow out a parachute, and then like a C-130 would come by and pick it up. Think of that. Fast forward all the way to on my cracked iPhone, I can just whip out Google Earth and look at like a pretty recently updated image of anywhere on the planet. Yeah. Look up my house. Okay, cool. Okay, and then you're just fucking high. You're playing with your dick, and you're just rolling around. And you're like, that's a weird looking field in Zimbabwe. And just keep going. Let's go on Reddit. So just extrapolate that. So from like hyper classified Corona satellites, no one can know, to just like it's a fucking whatever. Now extrapolate that 1,000 years, 1,000,000 years. You're just scanning the world. You're scanning the universe, and just literally a strobe light. Like, fuck, did you? Oh, they're doing it again. What are they doing out there? You guys want to go check it out? Yeah, fuck it, whatever. I got nothing doing. Hop in the saucer.
That's why I don't like that argument. Even like someone who I like Neil deGrasse Tyson, will use that one pretty often. Just like argument from whatever. They're so advanced that if they could do that, why would they be like looking? You don't stop to look at an anthill. It's like, bitch, there's people who study ants. That's their job. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Is it a normal person, maybe? It's like, well, it doesn't have to be like a normal alien. It's like, that's just a weird argument. Like, why would they? Yeah. Why would they care?
Yeah. Most people don't give a shit. Dude, my dad's in his 60s, and I'll still find him on Saturday mornings with a cup of coffee just on Google Earth. Because it's fucking magic. Like, it doesn't have to be the head of all aliens. How do you not know it's just like a Trey and Tommy? Just like, what's that planet? What's that planet? Like
nuclear bomb.
Yeah. Literally like roll a joint and it's just like, let's go like blaze and ride. Like, sure. Or what Rogan says, he's like, what if Earth is just, what's the crazy, goddamn, I'm drawing a blank. What's like the crazy Mexico City? Not Mexico City, but what's the crazy city in Mexico? And it's always associated with just going crazy, like
Juarez.
No, it's like partying, like
Oh, Tijuana.
Tijuana. Rogan was like, I think Earth is just Tijuana. It's 3 a.m. You shouldn't be driving, but you are. You're fucking loaded. You're fucking eating Big Macs, smoking pot. Just like, this is where you're like, what? I'm just gonna be hungover for 3 days. You're doing crazy shit, like a hangover type night. You're like, hey, you guys want to go to Earth? Let's go to Earth. Earth is Tijuana, and sometimes you wrap your car around a tree, and that's what Roswell was.
I feel like in Men in Black, the movies, that Earth is the Tijuana of like the galaxy.
Yeah.
That's like the plot of Men in Black. It's like aliens coming down, like, fucking getting fucked up like it's Vegas or something.
Yeah. It could just be, not only that, I mean, back to Neil deGrasse Tyson, like, why they wouldn't look at ants. Like, dog, have you ever just been high and just like gone for a walk? You'll study broken leaves. Who the fuck? What do you mean you wouldn't look at ants? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the more I listen to him, I am more now just annoyed by him.
Yeah, you wouldn't look at it. Like, bitch, how do you not know that we aren't as interesting as sharks? They have Shark Week, but it's Earth Week, and it's literally like trending on like Alien Net. It's just like, oh fucking, do you see Earth Week? No, dude, they're doing a crazy thing now. Dude, they're killing each other. There was this thing called 9/11. Holy shit, did you see 9/11? Like, it might just be that. I'm not trying to like make light of that. It's just like we might just be that. And the other thing I think about is ants is they say like an anthill next to a 12-lane superhighway going into New York City it's so unaware of the insane reality around it of just all these people driving, using cars and combustible oil, and they're using phones, and they're fucking watching the stock market, and just beyond reality to them. We could be that oblivious. We could be in the middle of a Milky Way galactic community, and we could just be that oblivious. It could be all around us, and we don't know what like 93% of the universe is dark energy, dark matter,
something like that. 93, 95.
Yeah, is that so? And I think like we'll do with like 10 more minutes. I gotta go shit after this.
Sure, bro.
Yeah, sorry. I realized I was like, oh man, I really got shit. Is like, it could also be a test though. Like maybe what I was thinking is like, if they're this advanced, do you really think that they're crashing? Or do you think that it's like they're tossing it out there and be like, let's see if they are spiritually advanced enough that if we give them technology that will allow them to solve all the world's problems, are they going to hoard it for themselves, rich douchebags, or are they going to help everyone? Maybe it's literally just like they threw us. It's like a flying saucer was literally like a flipped a coin to us. Here's all the answers to everything. Nope. And they can only, by throwing it in a random place, or maybe not random, whatever, or maybe they are all over the world, throw it to any random person and let's see what happens. Are they going to hoard it? Some ExxonMobil, Chevron, whatever. Or are they going to, if these people hoard it, well, then you can only imagine that, like we said, shit, if I was in that position, maybe I'd hoard it. Maybe that's just the average. Okay, it looks like the average person we pull, P-O-L-L, pull, throw the saucer to. They don't disseminate it. Okay, they're not spiritually, they haven't hit spiritual puberty yet. They can't come into the galaxy. And they just leave us here and they just let us fuck around. And they do make sure that like, if nukes start flying, we're going to go freeze them all in the air. We're not going to let them nuke themselves. But we're not going to let them know that we're not going to let them nuke themselves. So to them, it's still real. Maybe it's just that. And it's the second we disseminate it, and we're finally like, you know what? Here's this thing, and we think that we can create a beautiful world, and we have limitless energy. Everyone can have food and water and a perfect education and universal basic income, and you can pursue arts and creativity, and no such thing as racism and bigotry. And it's all been manufactured. Like we're all really just great friends, and we can do that. And we can be there tomorrow. We do that, and then the aliens come down, and they're like, you guys did it. Like, they're like, welcome. And we're like, what? I don't know. Maybe it's that. Maybe I'm way too optimistic.
It's like the end of Willy Wonka where he's like being a dick.
Yeah. Perfect. Yes. We let it out, and it's like Truman. It's Truman Show. He like hits the wall, and he's like, what the fuck? Is it just that?
But it begs the question, if they came, could they just check in with like remote devices, like you say, like, it really makes you want to know if in Roswell, if they really did like recover bodies, right? Because a craft is one thing, which would already be mind blowing if they could confirm if aliens were real. Although again, it kind of seems like they're trying to pussyfoot their way around that to like straddle the line. But then if there's actual bodies, right, where you could actually show like, no, this is a fucking alien.
Yeah.
That would even take you to the next level, right? But why would they do that? If you imagine the technology, it does kind of make sense just to have ships where you could maybe recover a computer, but that's it.
A drone or a rover.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we're not sending people to Mars, we're sending rovers.
Right, or like a dog, like how we send dogs into space. And what if we find aliens, we think they're aliens, but they're really
what if it's literally just like they're like lab creatures?
Yeah, exactly.
But they're still, we look at their brain cavity and it's like, oh man, these things have an IQ of like 1800. But reality, it's just
really just little like idiots.
It's their like golden lab. Is their golden retriever?
Yep.
Oh Jesus, dude. Oh no.
But so the bodies are not. That's totally going to change the juiciness level for me.
Yeah. Oh,
that's the one
too.
You can think of, because them already saying that it's out of this world is like feels pretty big, but I need like one more.
Yeah.
I need one more jump.
I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Come on.
I've been edging for years.
Cup the balls. Just give me. Put a knuckle on my ass. Like maybe, dude. I don't know. I've been edging for years. I've been edging since 1947. Just give it to me.
Alien edging for years.
Just give it to me. But I don't know. It does seem. It seems weirdly unclimactic, doesn't it? Like,
yeah,
why isn't this?
If they came, they would be just like, they could just be like dumb, like clones, or like, it kind of makes sense that they wouldn't want to visit like the head alien.
Yeah. But not only that, no, I just mean even despite them pussyfooting and just saying, material out of this world. Even that.
Yeah, because
why is that not the front of everything?
It's like, oh, it just fell from the sky. We don't know where it's from. It's like, what is it? A human? I just want them to say it's not human. I don't know. It's not of this world. What is that?
You want it to be exobiology?
Yeah, some biology would be nice, right?
Well, that's what I mean. That's what you want it to be. You want it to be creatures.
Oh yeah, exactly. Or some technology.
I would be happy with just like anything, like a piece of metal, some like atomically aligned element. Just like just element 204. It's just like beyond, and it's just
like Bob Lazar, bro.
Not even that. Just beyond that. Just like something that couldn't be faked.
It's like magic.
Yeah, or like. I want it to be tied into the Great Pyramids. That's my true, full retard. Like, that's what I want. I'm not even going to try to pretend.
Think so.
I know, I don't think so, but I want. That's what I want.
I'm a super pyramid skeptic for whatever reason, as much as I believe aliens in other ways.
What do you mean pyramid skeptic?
Just like tying that into.
Oh, I don't believe it at all. I want it to be.
I'm like separation of church and state with my like ancient aliens and my actual aliens. Like,
separation of archaeology.
I put the ancient sauce on top of it.
No, you do separation of archaeology and aliens. You're like,
Yeah, typically.
I'm old school. I'm old school. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm old school. I like Bush. You're like, it's like the Wolf of Wall Street. I like Bush. You're just like, I'm a stickler. I don't want all this new shit. Don't post it on Instagram.
Yeah, how funny is that there's like an even deeper layer, like the archaeological alien
years of morons. Just like it's is it Tim Dillon that said that? He was like space is fake. He was like, have you heard that new theory? Space is fake. He goes, so you got the aliens, the UFO guys, you get the ancient alien guys. Below that are the flat earthers. He goes, but there are some people for that flat earth is too conservative. He goes, so you got these guys going, hey, for all you flat earth cucks, if you're ready for the red pill, come down to space is fake.
That's hilarious, dude.
But even that, it kind of seems like edging. Like it almost seems like some people never actually want to get there.
They never want to. Yeah, that's true. That guy cracks me up, though. Tim Dillon's hilarious.
Tim Dillon's fucking gift to this earth is...
His rant on what is it? The cruises? The cruise rant he did on Rogan?
Which I just listened to both of it like a week ago. How did I not? What cruise?
It's just the whole premise was shitting on cruises.
Just eating, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just eating food.
Everyone who goes on a cruise.
It's just,
and just like, they're like $50.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know, this is cracking me up.
Yeah, and there's desperation all around you, and you're eating like a hot fudge sundae, just looking out the window. You're like, oh, this is so beautiful. Like, there's just see kids' rib cages, and you're like throwing away garlic bread. Like,
I just went on a cruise, I guess, when I was a senior in college, and I like hated it. So it just resonated me, that joke. Just like fucking jumping on cruise. Like by the end of the like 8 days on the boat, I was so sick of it.
Really? You know? I've only done one cruise, and it was with my ex-girlfriend, 2014, with her family. Went to Alaska, and I'd never done a cruise before or since, but I imagined it was whatever you're describing. I'm like, it just sounds terrible. I think the move is not to go do some Caribbean thing. We went up there, dude.
Yeah.
It was like not crowded. It was just like cold, but like the sun never set. You're just watching icebergs and just endless mountains. That was amazing. That was the coolest thing ever. You'd wake up and just sit out there and just literally, I just look down and there'd just be icebergs just like clinking around and just like untouched wilderness and like mountaintops.
That does sound amazing.
It was amazing. It was very zen. It was beautiful.
No, and I was just mature enough to kind of just treat it like a normal human. But of course, it's spring break as a senior, so you're getting completely fucked up. Yeah. So it's like the booze we snuck onto the boat and like having to like make sneaky mixed drinks, just like feeling all like loopy on the boat. It was just like not good.
I don't think I had a drink the entire time I was on there. We just
so you did
I
it right.
I remember her brother snuck on a vape pen. I do remember getting fucking ripped and like watching whales. That was crazy. But like, that was psychedelic. But. On Rogan, remember when Tim Dillon was like, they looked up the intelligence agencies? Do you remember that? The National Geospatial? He's like, what the fuck is that? National Geospatial Intelligence Agency?
I don't remember.
It wasn't a necessarily prominent part. But he's like, I think this is just fake because they like read about it. He goes, this just seems like a money laundering scheme. They just slapped a name on it. They classified it so no one can look into it. He goes, I think there's 16,000 people working there right now going, oh fuck, they're on to us. A guy I've had on my podcast who was one of my older brother's friends, JP, his mom was one of the lunch ladies at Pius, actually, but he was in the Air Force for a long time and now does stuff for the Geospatial Agency. He told me, he goes,
No.
Yeah, he goes, we were like, that became like an inside joke at the agency. Because everyone was like, Tim Dillon, like, what the fuck is this place? So like, yeah, he said that's an actual thing now at the agency.
It does feel like that would be an actual thing that would happen in the government. That
just fund money. They're
just
classified.
jobs that just exist off of momentum.
You can't audit it. This is classified, sir. Can't audit it. And it's just a bunch of deadbeat like me, just a bunch of deadbeat 30-year-old kids still at home, and their parents are directors and defense contractor CEOs, and they just have this agency where it's like, just go there, you get healthcare and $100,000 a year. Just fuck off, get out of my house. It's just like, it's under the black budget.
Yeah.
5:10, dude. I gotta go shit and eat some Hot Pockets. Not necessarily in that order.
Man. That was fun though.
That was fucking a blast, dude. That was fun.
I was like, I don't know what we're gonna talk about.
Me neither. I realized we didn't.
We would just riff on it.
I realized we didn't text at all. I was like, what are we talking about then? Fuck it. Just go with Will Ferrell. Yeah. Oh wait. Lastly, what do you think about Tom Hanks moving in Greece? Apparently, Greece, although they haven't, and this is pure conspiracy retardation, so strap on the hat. But apparently, Greece, although they have an extra, thank you, buckle your seatbelt. Yeah, is apparently
Tom Hanks a pedophile? Is what you're about to tell me?
That's what I'm getting at. Is apparently Greece, although they have an extradition treaty with the United States, unlike other countries, where they'll just straight up extradite each other because it's just like we're homies, we're allies, fist bump, whatever. I don't give a fuck about your peons.
Right. Yeah.
Apparently, Greece will not. They will only they have like a extradition treaty like asterisk. They will only extradite if the crime they are guilty of in their home country is also a crime where they are. And apparently, Greece has a very, very, very low age of consent.
Wow.
And so Tom Hanks and his wife moved there and became citizens.
Dude, it's fucking crazy, man.
Maybe he's just a millionaire and he just wants to go to Greece because it's beautiful.
Right. I don't want to say I believe because I love
Tom Hanks.
But it is crazy with this Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell shit. Like, what's going to start happening if anything is going to raise flags like that? But he's fucking Woody from Toy Story,
not
bro.
Tom Hanks.
Not Tom Hanks.
Maybe this is all engineered. And if we can survive, we survived COVID. If we could survive no March Madness. If we survive Tom Hanks being a pedo, we're ready for the UFOs. If the people don't implode.
You're right.
We survived Kobe. Kobe was the first. Kobe. And then
we'll kill Kobe.
No,
we'll reveal that Tom Hanks is a pedo.
We'll burn down Notre Dame. No, we'll elect Trump. We'll burn down Notre Dame. Sorry. The Cubs will win the World Series. We'll elect Trump. We'll burn down Notre Dame. Kobe Bryant and his daughter will die. COVID. No March Madness. No Olympics.
And if no one said anything.
Tom Hanks.
Anyway.
This is the last one. This is the final hurdle. Tom Hanks, they're in. But if we can't handle Tom Hanks, then we can't handle...
I think so. It's the deep state checklist.
You heard it here first. Trey Carney, live from Hawaii. Thank you, sir. Thank you for doing it. And, dude, let's do another one. I fucking love having you on, man. I love today. That was a wonderful episode. Not that I don't love the other ones. That was fucking fun. That was just, that was freestyle. That was dicks out. It's,
Dicks out.
All right, brother. Stay safe. Stay healthy. I got to go get tested for COVID a second time on Wednesday, so let's hope I don't have it and I don't die. And stay beautiful. Later,
see you, man.
Peace.